Good afternoon, everyone. We were discussing about S3, Simple Storage Service. Let us discuss a few points about S3. Amazon Simple Service Storage is a storage service which satisfies the storage requirements asked by a cloud consumer. We, as a cloud providers, allow him to store different kinds of data in this simple storage service. Before getting into the today's topics, all the data stored in Amazon S3 simple storage service is stored in buckets. I told you what buckets are. Here, bucket contains all the data that we store in Amazon S3. Apart from this, S3 is an object service and allows any type of data and any type of user to store his data. A huge amount. So everyone use this S3 for storage purpose. Apart from this, in the last session, we discussed what version control is and what is life cycle management. Where version control is something which allows us to retrieve the automatically deleted data. Through version controlling, we can provide keys for all the data that is in the bucket, and we can access those data using IDs. So a bucket can contain unlimited objects, and there are three states of versioning in a bucket. One is unversioned, second one is versioning enabled, third one is versioning suspended. Apart from this, we also discussed what is MFA delete, multi-factor authentication delete, where a user has to provide a code for deleting the data that is stored in an Amazon S3 or in an bucket. Coming to lifecycle management, using lifecycle management, we can transfer data from one type of storage to other type of storage out of all the four storages we have. We have four storages in S3. One is standard, the second one is standard IA, infrequent access, the third one Glacier, and the fourth one is RRS, reduced redundant storage. Out of these four, Glacier is the cheapest one, so we generally transfer data from standard to Glacier or standard to standard IA using lifecycle management. This is Amazon S3 dashboard where we can create a bucket, and in a bucket we can upload, and we have a permissions, we have our requirements. Based on our requirements, we can enable versioning controlling, we can add a lifecycle rule. So today we'll be discussing the last topics of this S3 Amazon Simple Storage Service. Those are one security and encryption, and the other one is best practices and costs of Simple Storage Service. So the first one, now let us look at the first one, security and encryption options available in this one. Generally, all the data we store in a simple storage service is secured because it is stored in a bucket. Here, while we click on create bucket, here after creating a bucket, we have an options to upload our data into the bucket. I hope everyone remembers that, how to upload things into bucket. Yeah, we store all the data that includes that might be images or videos or financial data, whatever it is, we store them in a bucket, right? All the data is completely protected in Amazon S3 simple storage service. That is because through Amazon S3 we can create. Let me share my screen. Yeah, can everyone see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Now, all the data we store in a bucket is completely secure because it's we who allow only users or bucket owners to access the data present in the bucket. Apart from this, we know that we are provided with MFA, multi-factor authentication, where we need to give a code for deletion of any data that is in a bucket. Apart from this, we can also create bucket policies where we decide who can access our bucket, data present in our bucket. We can access which we can set which user to access this data present in, as you can see here, which user can access our data present in the bucket. We are apart from this, we can also have logging, where user can access to his data. Here he can request access, and through logs he will be accessed to all the data present in the bucket. Now, event management. In event management, we can create this event management to all the data that is present in our bucket, so that whenever we do any kind of changes to the data present in the bucket, it can be we'll get a notification called through email or anything we can set. Now we also have option called query string authentication. This helps us to share simple storage service objects through URLs that are valid for a specific period of time. Coming to encryption, so far we discussed what is security, how security is provided to our buckets, to the data present in our buckets. I hope everyone is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So no doubts, right? So coming to authentic encryption, we also have different types of options in S3 to encrypt our data. Now let me show you that. Here we can encrypt our data transfer. We can also encrypt our data at rest. We can encrypt logs for our users to a bucket. We can also have a event notification. As you can see here, we can have logging. This logging helps to encrypt our data that is present in the bucket. Now coming to events, we can access events, and we can know through encryption, we can know what changes we have done to our data that is present in the bucket. As you can see here, user, if he changed any object in the bucket, then we get a email notification. So through this, we can assume that our data is completely protected in the bucket, and this proves that security and encryption in the S3 bucket is safe in Amazon Simple Storage Service. Now, this was all about the security and encryption. I hope everyone is clear with this. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. So let us move on to our second topic, that is best practices and cost of simple storage service. Now coming to best practices, there are few things that you have to follow while creating a bucket or while using a simple storage, Amazon Simple Storage Service. Here are the following things. The first one is versioning and lifecycle management. While creating versioning control or lifecycle management, we should enable versioning to protect our data and configure lifecycle policies to move our old versions to Glacier to save storage costs. I told you we use lifecycle management to transfer our data to different type of storage. Now at first all the data we stores in a type called standard. Now if you want to reduce our cost, we have to move all the data present in the bucket to another type, that is Glacier, which is the cheapest one out of 4 types. Now for that we have to enable versioning. The second one is we have to configure old versions to be deleted and at a suitable point in the future. We have to decide when to delete which version, when to delete the previous version, or when to make which version the current version. This was the first practice, that is versioning and lifecycle management. The second one is encryption. Here. Encryption, we discussed security and encryption, right? We can have encryption for our data transfer, we can have logging, we can have event notification options. So SSE with Amazon S3 managed keys, check the boxes, encrypt our data at rest. Now with these will have keys for our encryption, and we have options called puts and gets. These are puts and gets are some commands where we retrieve our data or where we request our data using these puts and gets. So this is the second practice, that is encryption of our data. Now the third one is detailed billing report. We have to maintain a detailed billing report for all the data stored in our bucket. So this provides object counts, storage gigabytes, requests and data transfers uses down to the bucket level, and we can turn the billing report via the preference page in the billings and cost management console. So here in AWS console, management console, we will be having an option called billing management. Through that, we can manage all the data we are stored and all the costs we have, and we can get a detailed billing report using this billing report. Now, the fourth one is restrict deletes. So we store different kinds of data. We have images or videos or financial data, pie charts, everything. Whatever data we store in a bucket, we should restrict who can delete and when can he delete. So if we remove delete permissions for bucket policy, uh, everyone that can access our bucket can delete the data. If that data is important, then we can't retrieve that. We can only retrieve that using versioning and lifecycle management. Apart from that, we must ensure that we enable MFA deletes, multi-factor authentication deletes, for our data present in the bucket, cause this helps us with secure connection, and only few people that have code can delete the data present in the bucket. Now the fourth one is maximize performance. So multi-part upload provides parallelism, encourage it for objects larger than 100 MB. We can also accelerate our data transfer. So these are the 5 important practices we must ensure to have our to maintain a simple storage service in the best way. The first one is versioning and lifecycle management. Second one, encryption. The third is detailed billing reports, and the fourth, restrict deletes, and the fifth one is maximum performance. If we practice all the things and we ensure everything that is related to versioning or lifecycle management, encryption, detailed billing reports, restrict deletes, maximum performance is correct, then all the data stored in AWS simple storage service, that is AWS S3, is perfect. So that was all about how to have the best practice of this AWS simple storage service. Now, moving on to the last topic of today, that is costs. S3 simple storage service costs. So we discussed all these costs in EC2, VPC, and now coming to S3, storage costs for storage types. The first one we need to know about the costs in simple storage service is the storage costs is according to the storage types we use and the per GB storage we use. Now, coming to types, we all know that there are 4 types of storages present in S3 simple storage service. One standard, the second one standard IA infrequent access, the third one Glacier, and the fourth one is RRS reduced redundant storage. So for each type, the cost is different. As I told you, the cheapest one among 4 is Glacier. So in these types, we are charged as the GB, as per GB we use in the storage type. Now, coming to discounts of our usage, these discounts will be per gigabyte. If the amount of storage we use increases, then the discounts will be increased. If the amount of storage we use decreases, then automatically the discounts will be less. So coming to requests, cost per 1,000 requests is applied, or life cycle transitions into standard infrequent access. So if you want to transfer our complete data completely to standard IA, that is standard infrequent access, say that if you want to transfer data from standard to standard infrequent access for a lifetime, then will be costs according to that. Now we also are applied charge for data transfers. The first one is the data that is transferred out to the internet, and the data transfer between other regions of S3 regions. I hope everyone knows what region is. Regions are something that where our data centers are present in the world. So according to the region, to which region we have to, in between which regions we have to transfer data, a cost is dependent on that. And if you want to transfer data out to the internet, then our cost depends on that. So that was all about cost. So far we discussed security and encryption and best practices and cost. Coming to security and encryption, we have control on our bucket. We can decide which user can access our bucket, who can create a bucket, who can delete a bucket, who can retrieve a bucket. Coming to security, we can create bucket policies where we decide who can make changes to the bucket we use. So coming to encryption, we can access logs. We can have we can have notification options. We can also have query string authentication that helps us to share S3 objects through URLs to a valid for a specific period of time. Coming to best practices, there are 5 best practices we must ensure to maintain a perfect Amazon S3 simple storage service. One is versioning and lifecycle management. Second one, encryption, detailed billing reports, restrict deletes, maximize performance. Version controls is used to retrieve the automatically deleted data, and lifecycle management is used to maintain a low cost, that is to transfer data from one type to other type. Coming to encryption, we have keys, and through these keys we can encrypt our data. We can have a detailed billing reports, and we must ensure to have this detailed billing reports the stored gigabytes requests and data transfer usage down to a bucket level. Coming to restrict deletes, we should restrict who can delete our data, and we must ensure that we have enabled MFA, multi-factor authentication, where person requires to give a authentication code for deleting data. Now we must ensure maximize performance. We have to accelerate our transfer. Through S3 we can do all these things. Coming to cost, storage cost is different for storage types we use and the GB gigabytes we use. Coming to discounts, discounts will be high if the data we stored is high, and discounts will be less if the data we stored is less. Coming to cost per 1000 requests is applied, and if you want to move our data from standard to standard IEA, infrequent access per lifetime, then we'll be applied charge per it. We also have charge on data transfer. We have different charges, like if you want to transfer data out to the internet, then charge is different, or if you want to transfer data between the regions, that is the data centers where our data centers are present. If you want to transfer data between these regions, then charge will be different. So this was all about S3 costs and security and encryption. I hope everyone is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. You can continue. So yeah, this was all about S3 simple storage service. If a cloud consumer asks us for a service which requires storage, then we as cloud providers provide him through a cloud connection this storage service, that is a simple storage service. So now let us move on to another service, that is Amazon Route 53, which is a part of a networking and content delivery service. So we discussed VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, in this network and content delivery service. Now coming to network and content delivery service, we use this network and content delivery service when we require high performance, global access, or if you want to broadcast our data globally. There are 3 types of categories in this networking and content delivery. One is application delivery, network delivery. The third one is network capacity. If you want direct connection to AWS, then we use AWS Direct Connect, that comes under network connectivity. On that day, we discussed what are different categories and why we use these different categories out of these things. Now we'll be discussing about Route 53. Route 53 is also a service that provides us with networking and content delivery. And this comes under network delivery category or in networking and content delivery service. So let us look on it. The first, to access this, you have to get into your Amazon Website Management Console. Then you have to click on you have to come to networking and content delivery service, and in networking and content delivery service you will be having an option called Route 53, and by clicking on Route 53 you can access, you'll be redirected to a dashboard. Coming to networking and content delivery service, this is most secure. This provides us highest network availability. This provides us with high performance, and this provides us with to broadcast global coverage. Think my network is slow. So here is a Route 53 dashboard, and here using Route 53 dashboard we can have domain name system management, we can have traffic management, we can have availability monitoring, domain registration. We will be looking all these things from tomorrow. So tomorrow class will completely be on Route 53. What is Route 53? What are different resources provided in Route 53 and how to use this Route 53. So yes. Now let us move back to our S3 dashboard. So we have completely discussed about S3 simple storage service. Simple storage service is an object service, and we have all the data stored in the S3 is stored in buckets. We can upload different types of data, or we can store different types of data in a bucket. And we also saw how to create a bucket, how to upload things into a bucket, how to enable version control, how to add a lifecycle role, and how to create a bucket name which must be unique, and how to access all the things in Amazon S3 simple storage service. So I hope everyone is clear about Amazon S3 simple storage service. Now that's all for today. From tomorrow will be a completely discussing about Route 53, which is a networking and content delivery service. So yes, thank you.